everybody, what's going on? Jeff Rieger, another episode of the Daily Ticket. Oh, it's a Friday. It is the 22nd. It's March. It's 2024. And yesterday was one of the coolest days ever if you're a sports fan and you happen to live in Michigan, maybe. Like yesterday was unreal. I tell everybody I think the NCAA tournament is the greatest 2 days of sports, that Thursday and Friday. And people always want to argue. They want to say, well, what about Super Wild Card Weekend? Yeah, that's awesome. What about the Super Bowl? What about opening day? What about the NHL playoffs? I mean, all awesome. No question about it. But there's nothing like the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. Sitting at home, going to a bar, going to Las Vegas, going to games, wherever you happen to be. You get the 3 Bs: betting, boozing, basketball. Oh, it's unbelievable. Yesterday, I was in my Barco Lounger at 12:15 to watch Michigan State, Mississippi State. I was right, by the way, MSU won. By the way, the Spartans kicked the crap out of the Bulldogs. We'll get to it momentarily. And I watched basketball all the way until now, 11:07 on a Thursday. And I got to work the morning show tomorrow. I got to fill in, apparently. Just found that out. So I'm going to get no sleep, but that's okay because I'm excited to be on the air. I'm excited to be talking to you because that Oakland University game was one of the coolest games I've ever seen in my life. If you would have asked me when I started the Daily Ticket how many times I was going to talk about Oakland basketball, I would have been like, never. Why would I? I kind of want viewers. I kind of want listeners. I'm not quite sure people care about Oakland basketball. But now the answer is at least once. That game, Oakland and Kentucky, was unfreaking real. It was so cool. Listen, I'm not an Oakland fan. I didn't go to Oakland. I know a lot of people that did. I'm very happy for them. But I did 2 Oakland University basketball games on the radio last year. I did color for them. My entire life, I've probably watched Oakland about 30 times, maybe 35 times. But you would not believe how much I wanted the Golden Grizzlies to win. It was unbelievable. I surprised myself. I was pacing throughout my family room. I woke up my wife. She texts me from upstairs wondering what the fuck I was doing and why the fuck I was so loud. I was sweating. I was pacing. I wanted Greg Kampe to win the game. I wanted the Grizz to win the game. I know a lot of people that went to Oakland, but more than anything else, I did the afternoon show on Wednesday with Rico. Mike was headed to Vegas. And Kenny Cobb, I love Kenny. He loves his Red Wings. By the way, nice game for the Wings yesterday as well. We'll get to that momentarily too. But Kenny Cobb was so confident that Greg Kampe and Oakland University were going to get the crap kicked out of him by Kentucky. He said he was going to go to a bar near Oakland and wear Kentucky gear. He was so confident that Kentucky was going to win that basketball game. And by the way, so was I, and I think the entire free world was. But I can only imagine the emotions that Kenny Cobb was going through when Oakland was pulling the upset. Maybe that's why I wanted the Golden Grizz to win so badly, because I've been through that. I didn't think Matthew Stafford could win a playoff game, much less a Super Bowl. And I said it constantly. And then when the day of reckoning came, I looked like a moron. And it was very uncomfortable for about 2 weeks because I got endless amounts of text and tweets and notifications of how I know nothing about anything. It's a hard life, people. When you go out against something, when you're certain that you know how something is and you constantly voice it on the radio, and then if it doesn't go your way, if you're proven to be wrong, man, that's a tough couple of days or a tough couple of weeks. I wonder how Kenny Cott's doing. I reached out to him. I have not heard back. I wonder if he ever made it to that Oakland bar. But the game itself, guys, the game itself was so great. I mean, you start off with the friendship of Greg Kampe and John Calipari. We all saw the picture that Tony Paul from the Detroit News took. It was Coach Cal texting Coach Kampe moments after they won the Horizon League tournament saying NCAA tournament. Kampe texted him back saying, look, our luck, we'll be playing each other. And wouldn't you know it, they played each other. And by the way, not only will Kampe always have bragging rights because it's the first time they ever played each other, But he might have also got Coach Cal fired. Like, honestly, think about it. You're Kentucky. You haven't been all that impressive lately. Calipari makes a lot of money to win. He's only won one natty in Kentucky. I wonder if they whack him. I won't be surprised if they fire him. Hell, maybe he's the next Michigan coach. I don't know. But the friendship is pretty cool. The fact that they were buddies is really cool. The fact that Oakland has only been to 4 NCAA tournaments in like 40 years, pretty cool. Last one was 12 years ago. Greg Kampe's never won an NCAA tournament game, I don't believe, up until this one. For the longest time, the win against Michigan was the biggest win of his life. That's now changed. But even when Oakland won, I still thought somehow, some way, Kentucky was going to come back and win the game. If you watch the game, Kentucky couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Like, they missed a bunch of easy shots. And I think John Calipari really miscoached them as well, because they had the height advantage. They had the inside advantage. They got easy looks in the paint, and they just couldn't make them because they were missing easy looks. If they kept up with that, I don't believe Oakland was going to win the basketball game. But at no point did Kentucky ever threaten to run away with it. Spread was 13.5. I don't think they ever led by more than like 3 or 4. And then the Jack Gohlke show happened. You see this kid yesterday? The senior from Wisconsin. This kid was unfreaking believable. 10 threes in the biggest game of his life. And by the way, he's not a starter. He comes off the bench. He averages 12.2 points a game. In the biggest game of his life, in the biggest game of Oakland University basketball history, in the biggest moment for all these kids, Gohlke went off for 32. He was 10 of 20 from 3, taking them everywhere. He was running and shooting threes. He was pump faking and shooting threes. Kentucky couldn't cover him for a little bit. Then they tried to cover him. They still couldn't cover him. He came away 1 3-pointer shy of a tournament record. 11 threes was the record. He ended up with 10. He was unbelievable. He reminded me of Spike Ulbrich. Remember the Michigan point guard? The year they went to the national championship game, they played Louisville. Trey Burke got in foul trouble. Beeline took him out of the game. And Spike Ulbrich went nuts for like 17 points. Remember, he tweeted at Kate Upton after the game or during the game, however the story went. That's what Gohlke reminded me of. It was remarkable. And the other thing, too, by the way, if you're watching on CBS, like that broadcasting crew was so pro-Kentucky. Usually in the tournament, when you got yourself a high seed vying for the upset, not only does the crowd really cheer for them, but the announcers really cheer for them. They were cheering for Kentucky last night. They were repeating themselves. They were in disbelief. It was kind of embarrassing if you actually want to be real about it. But what a win. So the first half, it was all Gohlke. And then the second half, Trey Townsend took over. Trey Townsend finished the game, played in all but 1 minute. 6 of 15 for 17 points. 1 of 3 from 3. Wasn't very good from the line. In fact, that entire team was not very good from the line. If Oakland actually hit free throws, they would have beat Kentucky by double digits. Like, they really would have. But Trey Townsend's like one of the coolest stories ever. His dad played for Kampe, and now his dad is a team photographer. And now his kid, who scored 38 in the championship game of the Horizon League tournament, put in 17 and hit some big-time shots in the process. He's their leader. He's their stud. He was awesome. I want to play you some cuts. How it sounded. Neil Rule, he does the broadcasting on the radio for Oakland. He's been doing it for quite some time. There was a point in this game where DQ Cole hit a 3 baseline. It was a floater. It was pretty. It dropped and pretty awesome. It was a 1-point game. Kentucky had just hit a 3 to make it a 1-point game because Oakland was up by 4. And then this happened. Take a listen.
And they have it. DQ looking for Chris Conway. Finds him on the block against Ivisic. Backing down. They flash a double team. Kick out. DQ Cole. 3. Of course! DQ Cole! 64-59 Oakland.
That was pretty much the game. Oakland able to hang on. They win it 80-76. Townsend had 17. DQ Cole had 12. Jack Gohlke had 32. And then there was Rocket Watts. Remember Rocket Watts? Rocket Watts played for Mississippi State. Rocket Watts played for Michigan State. Those two teams played each other earlier in the day. And then Rocket Watts got to go shock the world and win the biggest game in Oakland basketball history. Rocket Watts played 20 minutes. He got injured during the Horizon League tournament, and he ended up with 8 points. But they were pretty big 8 points. Like, he hit some pretty clutch shots when it mattered the most. They got such a team effort. It was so cool to watch. And they shocked the freaking world. Now, to be completely honest, Kentucky could not hit the broadside of the barn. I thought Kentucky got inside with ease. I thought they controlled the paint with ease. And I think for some reason, I don't know why, maybe it was Gohlke making them think they had to hit threes, but Calipari went away from the advantage he had down low. Kentucky missed a lot of easy shots. And so did Oakland, to be fair. But Kentucky missed a lot of shots. And that pretty much was the undoing of them, without a doubt. But if I'm Kentucky, I'm sticking with the game plan. I'm battering them down low. And I'm coming away with the victory. But he decided not to do that. They settled for awful shots. They decided to take way too many threes. Antonio Reeves, he was a stud last night. He ended up with 27. He kept Kentucky in the game. But he was no Jack Gohlke. Like here, I mentioned Gohlke almost had the tournament record for threes in a game. This was his 10th. Take a listen.
DQ Cole comes away with it. Back to Jack. He's free. 4-3. Of course! Jack Gohlke's 10th 3. He's got 30. 67-62 Oakland.
So how did it sound at the end? The biggest win in Oakland University history as they knocked off Kentucky. How did it sound? Take a listen.
Shepard will send it in. Pass up ahead. Reeves fires the 3. Will not go. The buzzer sounds. America, the Oakland Golden Grizzlies have busted your bracket. Oakland University is going on. The Kentucky Wildcats are going home. 80-76. The Oakland Golden Grizzlies get the win over the Kentucky Wildcats.
Unbelievable. This is why the tournament is the greatest sporting spectacle on the face of the earth. It's the greatest thing ever. It's making me at 11:20 on a Thursday night sit in my car and talk about Oakland basketball. What about Coach Kampe? Dude's been there 40 freaking years. I love Coach Kampe. Great dude. 40 freaking years. Took them from D2 to D1. What do you think of this?
I'm wrong. I said that in the press conference. They said, would this be the biggest win? I go, no, that Michigan win will never get past. This got passed. This is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened to Oakland or to me. It's unbelievable.
And now they actually have a legitimate chance of going to the Sweet 16. They play the winner of Texas Tech and North Carolina. By the time you watch this or listen to this, you'll know who won that game. But Oakland University, they were a plus 700 to beat Kentucky. They were a 13.5-point dog. I thought they were going to cover, but I wasn't 100% sure about it. I made a couple bets with some guys in the office, and they thought I was a dumbass taking Oakland to cover. They were so certain Kentucky was going to blow them the fuck out. And now look at it. They're marching on. Calipari might get whacked. Kentucky is done. I mean, it doesn't get any more blue blood than Kentucky. And to knock them off, unbelievable. And again, I don't know why I'm so fired up. It's the beauty of the tournament. That's exactly what it is, because I'm not an Oakland basketball fan, but everybody falls in love with David and Goliath. Everybody falls in love with the upset. That's why the tournament is the best. Teams you've never watched, players you don't know, just because they're a 13, 14, 15, or 16 seed, you're like, oh, yeah, this brings such joy to my life. These mid-majors, these know-nothing schools, finding a way to beat big-time schools, just awesome. I was pacing. I probably told you this. I don't even remember what I told you. I was pacing for like 13 minutes. 13 minutes of that second half, I'm pacing, hoping Oakland won the basketball game. I didn't even put money on the damn game, and I'm still pacing. It was such a great game. It's so hard not to be fired up for Kampe, for Oakland, for all the people that went there. I mean, if you went to Oakland University, you probably never thought you would go to the tournament or win a tournament game, much less. And now you're marching on after knocking off Kentucky. You just witnessed history. They'll be talking about this win in Rochester, Michigan forever. Unbelievable. Team effort. Never broke. Couldn't hit free throws. Got dominated down low at times. Didn't matter. Kentucky was red hot to end the game. They hit three after three after three to keep them in it, and they could just never find a way to topple Oakland University. Oh, man. Just so fucking cool. Anyway, how about a couple other quick things? Then we'll let you go. Go enjoy your weekend. Go enjoy the rest of the tournament. Michigan State looked fantastic yesterday, didn't they? I guaranteed you MSU would win because MSU played MSU. Get it? Haha. Anyway, no, but what a win. 69-51. They bludgeoned Mississippi State. Tyson Walker at 19. I thought he was awesome. A.J. Hoggard was really good. 8 points and 8 assists. That was big. Jaden Akins, I thought, played his best game in a Spartan uniform. He had 15 points. They just looked different. It's almost like they got in the tournament. They were a little unsure if they would. They were a bubble team, we thought at least. Then we found out they were the highest 9 seed out there. They get in and they smoked Mississippi State. They out-rebounded Mississippi State, and they're supposed to be a good rebounding team. I truly believe the pressure was relieved by getting in the tournament. And maybe they think they're playing with house money. But if they play tomorrow against North Carolina, how they played yesterday against Mississippi State, they're going to be marching on to the second weekend. Could you imagine if Oakland and Michigan State both are in the Sweet 16? Like, what are the odds of that? Plus $1 billion? I wish I would have bet on that. I'd be a very rich man right now. But I thought Michigan State looked very good. They were good from 3. They hit their shots. I thought they looked good in transition. They played great defense. And more than anything, how about the game of Matty Sissoko coming off the bench? 9 rebounds. 9 rebounds, 2 points, 17 minutes of action. We know the big men from Michigan State have been an issue all season long, and they're going to get a major test on Saturday. Armando Bacot's one of the best in the country. That guy, he's tough to deal with. I saw Wagner play them. Now, again, it's a 16 seed in Wagner, but he dominated them. Michigan State big men have been getting dominated all season long. But I do believe if Sparty plays like they did against Mississippi State, they'll have a chance. Good from 3. Good transition D. North Carolina, good team. But they don't have a ton of big wins. Furthermore, they play in a weak conference, and they are the worst of the 1 seeds out there. And the other thing that nobody talks about, Michigan State, when they play really good teams, play really well. They played Purdue tough twice, lost by 6 at Mackey, and lost by, 6 or 7 in the Big Ten tournament. They played Illinois tough and beat them. They played Arizona tough, lost to them. They played Duke tough. Tom Izzo, the second game of the weekend, when he gets 1 day to prep as well, almost unbeatable. I think you add it all together. I think it's going to be a very close game. How do I know that? Because Vegas agrees with me. Do you know what the point spread is? It's 4. I've seen 3.5. North Carolina, a 1 over 9 seed Michigan State is only favored by 3.5. I think Michigan State going to the Sweet 16. Furthermore, all the people that have murdered and killed and maimed Izzo, this season saying they don't want him. They're sick of him. He should retire, call it quits. He's ruining his legacy. What do you have to say now? He does this, people. I tried to warn you. This is what Tom does. January, February, you know the rest. So I think they're going to beat the Tar Heels. I do. And that's going to be a primetime game. Saturday night in North Carolina. Going to be wild. But that was a big win for Michigan State. Oakland with the big win. Michigan State with the big win. How about the Red Wings with a big win? Dylan Larkin back. Biggest game in forever against the Islanders. They were 3 points back heading into the game. Larkin had 2 goals. 2 goals for Larkin. They score 6 goals total. They win it 6-3. They're now 3 points up on the Capitals. They're 5 points up on the Islanders. They've won 3 of 4 hockey games. And now they're going on the road for a very difficult road trip. They're going to play Nashville. They're going to play Florida. They're going to play Carolina. I mean, it's not over. They got 12 games remaining, or maybe it's 11. Other teams have games in hand, but they're playing better hockey, and they've gotten past the real rough spot of losing 7 of 8 hockey games. It was actually 8 of 9, if I'm not mistaken. So that was huge, too. I mean, it was a great day yesterday. The only negative was JD Martinez is off the market. See that? Signs with the Mets. 1 year, $12 million. 1 fucking year, $12 fucking million. Like the Tigers couldn't do that. 31 homers last year. 1 year deal. If he stinks, you get rid of him. If he's good, he helps you maybe win a division, go to the playoffs for the first time since 2014. $12 million. Come on. Pay him $12 million. He'd be in Detroit right now. You could have had Matt Chapman. No, don't need him. Don't have a third baseman. Don't need him, though. Could have had JD Martinez. No, we already have too many DHs. Could have had Cody Bellinger. No, don't need him. Don't believe in him. Could have had Blake Snell. No, don't need him. All these guys I just named, everybody thought like, oh, these guys are going to make so much money, you can't afford them. They didn't make anything. Tigers didn't go after any of them. Only negative news. JD Martinez is a Met. Enjoy New York City, JD. I would have loved to see you here. So let's quickly recap. Michigan State wins. I think they're going to beat Carolina. JD Martinez is a Met. I'm bummed the Tigers didn't sign him. The Wings are red hot, winners of 3 of 4. And how about Oakland University? Here, I'll check the score right now. As of the taping of this podcast, it does look like it's a close game between North Carolina State and Texas Tech. That's an 11-6 matchup. North Carolina State, the Wolfpack, are winning 45-41 right now. So they can play either of those teams, and I think they could beat both those teams. I feel good for Greg Kampe. I do. I feel good for Oakland University. I feel good for every Golden Grizzly out there. That's going to do it for the Daily Ticket. We'll get to the comments on Monday. I've spoke way too long. Now I got to go edit this thing and then maybe catch an hour of sleep and then go hit up the morning show. Whew, I'm looking forward to 10 a.m. I'm going to sleep, then wake up at 12:15 and watch basketball. I love this time of year. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. How does Michigan State do? How does Oakland do? How do the Red Wings do? We'll fill you in. Enjoy your weekend. See ya.